Hi, I'm a Regis Philbin type, and this is a Rachel Ray type. And it's the morning, so that feels even more appropriate.
Oh right, yeah. Get everybody dancing for a morning show.
Yeah, you got to get the energy level
Late morning
going.
show. I guess the Today Show might still, Oh wait, well we're 3 hours behind because we're on the West Coast. So the Today Show, that's over. They're done. They're done.
And that,
Kathy Lee sipped all her wine, and
yeah, that's too newsy for us. I mean, even though it's not really news, but
when you get into hour 3, there's no news.
Yeah, but I want to be. I don't even want the pretense. I just want to be. I want to be straight Regis Philbin.
From the old, because Regis does Regis do anything anymore?
He feeds worms.
Oh, did he really die?
Yeah, I think. Regis Philbin, thanks for being here in wherever there is. I think you're dead, Regis. And you seemed like a great guy. You had a great name.
That is quite a name.
Regis University. Philbin, 2010, 2020.
July 2020. Once called the hardest working man in show business.
Oh.
He held the Guinness World Record for most hours spent on US TV.
Wow.
You're a Philbin type.
I'm a Philbin type. You're a Rachel Ray type. We've got two buddies in chat. We've got Mark and Sunfire Scales / Shades says, "Yo, do you know if we will be able to see any part of the eclipse here in SoCal?" Yes. Starting in about an hour, the festivities begin to some degree. Now, here in Southern California, we will not
partial.
Yes, right. It is a partial eclipse here. We are not getting the no totality. We're not in the path of totality. But we will get a partial eclipse, and it is still worth leaving when you have the opportunity to go check it out. Even though it won't be the magisterial affair that the total eclipse is, it is still worth seeing. You were going to kick us off with something new today.
Okay. Homage to a Wheat's classic style. There was always the cherry on top. And I thought we could invert that and start the show with a cherry. Doesn't have to be, of course we love tangents here, but we'll try to keep it just, cherry sized, and then we can move on. It doesn't have to be our whole topic, but just something that's a nice little cherry, nice little thing to call out. I thought, cherry on top, this is the top of not the hour, right? Because, it's just whatever time, but top of the show, cherry topping, but we'll work on the name of it, right? But, you like the cherry base. I don't know. It's some kind of cherry, and it's at the start.
It's a crust.
It's a cherry crust?
There's no cherry. If the metaphor is the pie.
If the metaphor is the pie, but it could have been a sundae.
Oh, right, yeah, oh, shit.
Or a banana split.
The cherry on top is going to be, it's going to be a sundae.
Is this a banana?
It needs some work. There's going to be some workshopping.
But we love for you guys to see, how the sausage is made. So, Mark's got a great suggestion. Set a timer. Stick to the, X amount of minutes that we pick per topic. Probably a good challenge.
Yes, I totally agree. So, you set up the concept. What did you want to...
Yeti asked, doesn't everyone eat the cherry first anyways? That's a great point.
Great point. Yes, even though it goes on top, you plop it in your mouth first.
It's the first thing.
And if you're a good lover, you tie that stem into a knot with your tongue.
That's right. So maybe we can just still call it the cherry on top. Or cherry at first. Anyways, mine that I'm going to call out is so simple. Should we be timing this? So simple to start with, though. I'm gonna give a shout out to Common Sense.
Big Thomas Paine fan.
My little morning dose of common sense this morning was there's some work being done in our alley. It was very loud, very annoying. They're doing something with pipes, but as these things go, it was just like a loud, annoying noise that's just droning on. And I went and I closed the one window that was open. And it doesn't mean that the sound is gone, but it does mean that the sound is a lot quieter in our home.
Beautiful.
It was like, wow, common sense.
Think for a second.
Think for a second, and then do the simple, easy thing of closing your window. That's my cherry right now. I feel very peaceful about it.
All right, I'm gonna give you two. One, I'm just gonna say, she said common sense. What's that?
A twofer.
But this one doesn't really count. Thomas Paine, she said the name, truly the least controversial founding father, seemed like a genuinely decent person, nearly existing 250 years ago. He's the guy who wrote Common Sense, abolitionist, crazy thing. Thomas Paine, the guy who wrote Common Sense, the tract maybe as influential as any piece of writing in the revolutionary period. What did he advocate for back in the 1770s? Universal basic income.
Wow.
Seriously. Cool dude, Thomas Paine. Anyways, that's not what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to tell you.
That little snack.
I'm a big podcast, big book guy, audiobook guy, listen to a lot of audiobooks. I've been listening to audiobooks for a decade at least. Love them, listen to them all the time. Just recently, I started finally doing the thing everybody tells you to do, but I had a reflexive kind of, no, that just doesn't sound right to me. And I finally started listening to books at an accelerated listening speed, up to 1.7, 1.8. And it's awesome. It's great. I thought I would hate it. It sounded like a productivity hack, like, amplify your reading just by this one simple trick. It's like, no, that sounds awful. I enjoy listening to books. But an amazing thing happened when doing it. I noticed that increasing my listening speed not only increased the number of titles, books that I can listen to in a month, but it actually increased the the absolute number of hours in which I listened to books since started doing this. Just because I think something like it's even more engaging and I find it even more compelling that way.
You have more momentum.
Yeah, so I've actually, not only have I listened to more books by listening at almost twice the speed, I've actually increased the number of hours in which I listen to things because I think I enjoy it even more. So if you're an audiobook guy, don't be afraid to pump up that speed. It really is nice.
Give yourself about 20 to 30 seconds to adjust into the new speed. And also, of course, like all things, try it in incremental steps. You can always try 1.2 after listening at 1x, try a 1.2x.
We did it in 8 minutes. We'll cut it down. To do a first back, and you know what? I did promise you, because today is the eclipse. We've got special things going on. It really is going to be the fastest we've done this. Producer has told me she's got the bullwhip. She is ready to do what it takes to keep me honest. So sorry about that. Let's get this filled up. Let's talk a little eclipse. Producer, catch me up on chat if you don't mind, and then we'll talk cool stuff about eclipses. Including some stuff that I did know, including some stuff that is new to me that I just learned about eclipses. A truly fascinating concept. We're watching the 3-body problem right now on Netflix, and
feels super appropriate.
But there is a thing I heard about our relationship to eclipses that has me really intrigued. I'll bring it up in just a moment. We got our first bag here. I'm just going to dedicate this bag. I'm sorry for the. This is going to go out to everybody hanging out with us on the eclipse morning. Again, I hope you guys get a chance to go see some of it today. Our bros who are out east, you're going to see an even more incredible experience. Mark, I am not sure if you guys, being in England, I'm guessing you are totally going to miss it. I mean, yes, you must be. You're just too far. Um, but that's the nature of eclipses. There'll be one your way in too many years. Um, it's very rare. Like we've been incredibly lucky here in the States to have two full eclipses go by us in 7 years' time or whatever it is. That's not that common. I had a professor, my favorite professor I've ever had was an eclipse junkie. He was a science writer and a total eclipse head and chased eclipses around the country. Not the country, the world, excuse me.
To go see
Yeah, he traveled to every continent other than Antarctica to go experience a total eclipse whenever he had the opportunity. Wrote several books on them. Super cool guy. All right, so we got our first bag. This is here for everybody. Did you find out? Oh, you've got the Path of Totality up. You want to share that with everybody in chat? This USA Today article.
Oh boy. Yeah. Sorry for all the chum and pop-ups that will come with it. I mean, this was a very simple. I just put it into what's that called? Google. But anyways, I don't know. There's a nice map on there that shows the percent.
I did just see Mark's comment that he would listen to more audio books if they could be narrated by Bobcat Goldthwait. Mark has an incredible tolerance for pain. If you don't know what Bobcat Goldthwait's affect, is, give yourself a Google and see why that sounds awful. You know what though, Bobcat Goldthwait, who would have ever thought, ended up being a pretty good writer-director. Check out World's Greatest Dad with our dearly departed Robin Williams for a truly great, truly dark comedy. World's Greatest Dad, directed by crazy voiced Bobcat Goldthwait. Big welcome, and I thought we had somebody else showing up. Mr. Phantom. Talking about Police Academy. The producer here also has a bevy of cool sound effects she can do with her voice, just like the Police Academy guy.
Oh,
give us a siren.
Oh, I'm supposed to do a siren?
Yeah. It's just like having him here. All right. Mark says that it is raining there in England. So even if they had, but of course it wasn't. Even if they did, he wouldn't have the opportunity with the serious cloud cover there. So,
Yeti's in full totality. I hope it's clear skies for you then.
Yes, lucky dog. Here's some cool. This is I'd heard this before, but I want to end it with something I thought that was super cool, which is and producer knows this too. Our relationship here on Earth, as to our almost unique ability to experience something like a total eclipse. It is a more or less singularly. I mean, when you have trillions and trillions of planets in our solar system, in our galaxy alone,
and any variety of the ratio of the. Well, you're about. I'll let you go.
Yes, sorry. You will have some others of these, but it is incredibly uncommon. The precise proportion of our moon to our sun and the precise distances that they are apart from each other leads to this unbelievable coincidence that the something like a total eclipse with the what is the Ring of Fire halo called?
Just call it the halo.
Yes, the halo that you know just peeks through on any side of the moon is just it is astronomically unlikely that would happen, and we get to experience it here on Earth. So many of our other
Just to be
yes,
a little,
yeah,
yeah, if the moon was bigger or closer to the Earth, then it would just, you get a situation where there could be eclipses, but it would just block out the sun completely. You wouldn't have the same look with the halo.
or you'd have tiny little partial eclipses all the time. Yeah, it is, and even more incredible,
Yeah.
it is. We are situated in the perfect point in time to experience it. Not just
That's how rare it is. It's not a constant for our planet and our moon.
right as our moon's orbit drifts and has been drifting closer and closer to Earth. Not even in the entire duration, and not even that long, really, has it been that the moon so perfectly eclipses the sun in such a way. As the moon continues to drift towards Earth in something as, geologically short time span as like 100,000 years, the total eclipse will no longer be a real thing because the moon will now totally 100% blot out the sun as it passes by, and you won't get that amazing halo effect. The thing that really, well, it will still, the eclipses will still freak everybody out, will still be a freaky thing. You don't quite understand how unnerving, disquieting, and
Almost
singular, supernatural,
without
yes, without being,
of course it's natural, but
for the sky to become dark in the middle of the day. It's spooky. I mean, it is spooky, and you feel it beforehand. You can actually notice change, like you'll stop hearing birds chirping. The forests will get quiet because, believe it or not, the animals on Earth are also disquieted by eclipses. It is so freakish, so bizarre, and so rare that most species on Earth have not built up the,
they just think it's a night coming
yeah,
on,
and so they
when
are
we know it's the middle of the day.
also freaked out by it. It's so cool. I can't wait to have the opportunity to do another total eclipse myself someday. Back time. Yes, thank you. Michael Winslow. That is the name. That's the guy you were doing the impression of.
Good. I'm glad I knew that.
Police Academy. Great movie. Steve Gutenberg.
Oh,
Great guy.
We were talking about the Goon earlier.
Yeah, the Goots, the guy in Police Academy. He's Michael Winslow's best friend.
We talked about Steve Gutenberg without calling out Party Down,
Where he plays himself.
where he plays himself. I love that episode.
So, we've shared some cool eclipse facts. I'm curious, anybody out there in chat, did you guys get to experience the last one yourselves? The 2017 eclipse.
2017. Mostly on the west coast, west half of the U.S.
No.
No. It was another diagonal slice.
Yeah, because one of the best spots was East Tennessee.
Well, that's right. So it's quite the
More westernly.
like a sash.
Yeah.
So just a differently directed sash.
Yeah,
Because it was a different part of the year.
It was August.
It was August.
Yeah, we saw the last one in August 2017. We drove 19 hours straight to Idaho, and we mentioned this on the show last week. Pulled over to like a CVS parking lot with, an increasing number of cars and tractor trailers and families, and Everybody else all having that transcendent experience. I do have video of it. I think I have it on iCloud. I need to pull it down, and I should just share that later today if I can find it. I know I did. I've got it somewhere. Mark said that Candy, Mark's wife, got to see a total eclipse back in 1998. Was Candy as sort of awestruck by the experience as the two of us? I don't really know anybody who's seen. It's one of those things where I don't know anybody who's seen one. It's like, yeah, it's okay. It was all right. It's fine. It's generally something, it's like
maybe if they saw like a partial eclipse, they might see that.
Maybe.
We were listening to one of our one of our favorite podcasts, Political Gabfest, and they were talking up what they were gonna do, their eclipse plans and eclipse memories. But I'm just gonna steal one of the hosts, David Plotz, gave his interpretation. I think it was maybe Anne Lamott or some writer had written a comment about like, oh, the comparison between a partial eclipse and a full eclipse is the difference between, I think the writer's original version was, it's the difference between kissing a man and marrying him. And Mr. Plotz edited that. He's like, okay, he's like, it's way more, my version of it, I'm so passionate about, like, the full eclipse is such a different experience than the partial eclipse. It's the difference between shaking hands with someone and having sex with them.
What a great analogy, but probably also pretty true. And if you got the opportunity, just do it. You won't have many. Sneeps, welcome. I saw Sneeps popping up. Oh, and our good friend John J. MMA, aka
Triple J,
Gonzo Baptist. Thanks for being here, everybody, on Eclipse Morning. I feel like we needed a sound effect for that. I mean, that's all. That should really just be our sound effect. All right, let's finish this bag.
Yeah, you got the closest Mark has come to watching Bonnie Tyler sing Total Eclipse of the Heart. Watching her live?
Oh, good question.
Because that's a pretty... also be a, great experience. And maybe someone could set up a similar metaphor between seeing her live and just watching an old YouTube clip. Focus.
We got this. We're going to go see the apparently shockingly good soon Omen prequel, the first Omen.
I don't think I've never seen the Omen.
You've never seen any of the Omens?
I have not seen any Omens. When did the first original The Omen come out?
77.
Oh, it's old.
Oh yeah.
So it's like Halloween, like it's been around for a long time.
And then let me try to do the remake. They're like 3 or 4 original The Omens. I think Gregory fucking Peck is in The Omen. 76. I'm gonna give my my
film stars Gregory Peck.
Oh, and directed by Richard Donner. Richard the Goonies Donner.
Oh.
Richard Superman Donner.
And then there's you were gonna guess that. I spoiled it for you.
Yeah. Anyways, The Omen. Apparently the prequel is pretty good. Devil Children, always great, wonderful. Mark said he just saw The Omen 2 and 3 a few days ago. I've never seen any other than the original The Omen and then the remake. I I'm always a sucker for a good antichrist story. It's all good. Um, as for evil children stories, which are often great horror stories, we talked about it a little bit. One of the most truly batshit, absolutely bonkers horror prequels happened while nobody was paying attention a couple of years ago. There is a great bad horror movie from like 2007 called The Orphan. What's her name? The young girl.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of the name anymore?
So I know the other one is Orphan First Kill.
Yes, Orphan. That's
So
right.
it's just Orphan. Not,
Yeah.
maybe no the.
Yes.
Orphan.
Orphan. Terrible, great 2007 horror movie with a bananas twist. One of the great all-time evil kid movie twists. And then, like, 15 years later, they decide to make a prequel to this movie. Which, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just do it right here. Let's just do it right now. Orphan. Movie Orphan from like 2007. I'm going to spoil the twist of that movie. So if you don't want to know, if you're into the evil kid horror movie subgenre, turn away. Orphan. Family picks up adopts a Romanian child. Bad stuff starts to happen. Twist at the end of the movie, she isn't a child. She's actually like a 30-year-old woman who just looks like a child, and she is bad news and kills people, yada yada. You can figure it out from there. But it's a great twist. Great twist. Cool. So 15 years later, they're like, you know what? Let's bring this orphan back. Let's make it a prequel.
So it's earlier.
So it's early.
The origin story.
Let's keep the same girl who was supposed to be 11/30.
A truly 30-year-old person who looked 11.
Yes. And so
played by a child.
We're going to make a prequel to that movie, not a sequel, and cast the same actress
who is now 15 years older
to play somebody who is even younger. And so they had that whole setup in their mind. They had that whole, they're like, okay, it's already crazy enough. And this one, I will not spoil the twist. They said to themselves, how can we do how can we make something
even crazier? Or
as audaciously stupid as this story deserves? And I mean that actually in a good way. Like, it is so, when it happens, it's just like, you motherfuckers. Like, it's great. Orphan First Kill, one of the most inexplicable sequel prequels of all time. And
so much fun.
A lot of fun.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Was that Paramount?
Paramount Plus, I think.
Yeah, the first time we free trialed our 1 month of Paramount Plus, we were
Star Trek one.
We're like, gotta get on that Orphan First Kill.
Sam 2002 says, let's stare at the sun.
Is that in the title? Yeah.
Yeah. I did just read that we might all owe Donald Trump an apology. Unfortunately. Because
of the many apologies we owe him.
Because apparently, maybe staring at an eclipse. Don't listen to what I'm saying. This is based on hearsay from somebody who is talking about a paper from years ago that wasn't that rigorous to begin with. Do not listen to me. Just ignore.
Just hit mute.
I'm going to say this.
Just hit mute.
I'm just going to say this. Yes.
He's going to keep talking. His mouth is going to keep moving.
Apparently, looking at an eclipse, not as devastating to our eyeballs as we might fear. There was I think in the 70s or something like that, there was another eclipse, and
they did a study.
Yes, the government was worried how many people were going to injure their eyeballs because this is before we could get a lot of mass protection to people, the glasses. And before mass communication, like it was even harder to get the message not to look at it. And apparently that year, which had like one of the largest bans of totality, there were only like 20 eye injuries, and not that serious eye injuries across the country. And one of those came from somebody who stared at the eclipse nonstop for 22 minutes and they didn't even go blind. So don't look at it. There's no reason.
You don't want your eye to get burnt. You don't want a slight injury from the eclipse. You don't want any injury from the eclipse. You're not supposed to look at the sun. But I just also remember that I heard don't look at the sun when I was a little kid, and I did look at the sun, and I didn't go blind. But I didn't do it for 22 minutes.
Any solar sneezers out here? We got any solar sneezies? It's a pretty common reaction. Some people, and it actually makes a lot of sense, and you could imagine it have, before we sort of spread out too far, really kind of this adaptation spreading even further. I think I've seen the number of like 25% of people will sneeze involuntarily if they look at the sun, which is such a great roundabout way of our bodies protecting ourselves. It's like, you stupid son of a bitch, if you're gonna do it, I'm gonna hijack your ass so you can't.
Try to stare at anything while you're sneezing.
Yes, right.
It's not gonna work.
It is unless you hold your eyes open, which you should not do. You cannot. It is physically impossible to open your eyes while sneezing.
It just doesn't happen.
Another protectionary measure, because the force of sneezing is like 100 up to like 100 miles an hour, produces a lot of force, and you might have flung your eyeballs out otherwise. Amazing. It's fun stuff.
Sam, welcome. Sam does say that they've gotten arc flash injury from welding, so he doesn't think an eclipse will blind him. Don't find out. Don't look at the eclipse.
Yes.
Directly. Please use use your eclipse glasses, just like our what's his name? Yodrick. What's the name from Hamlet?
Alas for your Yorick?
Yorick. God.
Wait, you're holding a skull.
That's what I was trying to say. Our Yorick right here.
Oh, I thought you were just holding the skull on without trying to conjure a Yorick. And
No.
Okay.
I was trying to name him Yorick. I just couldn't remember the name.
I only know that piece of trivia, not because I'm a Hamlet fan, but because I played a lot of Halo 3.
Ah.
We'll just leave it there. Fuck Hamlet. And his ghost. And his dad.
And you just say fuck Shakespeare in general. I think I like Hamlet, though.
It's that whole to be or not to be shit.
Yeah.
That really is the question.
It's like the fundamental
Producer.
text.
You brought it? Why is it cracking? Oh, it's...
Drink some juice.
Yes, thank you.
Drink your juice.
What is the sound? What are we hearing in a bullwhip?
Breaking the sound barrier.
You're hearing a little sonic boom. That's how good India is. Breaking the sound barrier. Bullwhips are scary, man. Yes.
Sam's got his welding helmet.
Ah, okay.
Perfect.
I was going to say, use your welding helmet when you're doing the welding, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even more crucial.
I'm sure Sam knows better than us.
Sam, are you a pig man or a mig man? Mark says it's possible to sneeze with your eyes open, but most people have to make a concerted effort to override their reflex to keep their eyes open. That's an even more concerted effort.
Yeah.
I obviously cannot conjure the strength of my eyelids. I've tried it.
I mean, there are the people who, you know, sneeze without even sounding like they're sneezing, like, and that always concerns me. Like, is there some?
We got any 2-fers or 3-fers in the house?
Oh yeah, while we're talking sneezes.
While we're talking sneezies, I'm a 2-fer. I always sneeze in 2s. Wish I were a single guy. I wish I had that chest, that diaphragm to push all that shit out in 1. But no, I'm always coming in 2. Some people are 3s. Some are variable. Bodies are weird. Rhode Island Hiker, good to see you back, man. I saw your comment last week. So happy to be hanging out with you. He asked, did you pick up a Quest 3? If so, what do you think? I got one day 1 and love it. Rhode Island Hiker, I also have one on day 1, and I also love it. I really hate shilling for meta here, but no,
it's not here. It's in
right
the other room. It's right around there.
I think it is a truly phenomenal device. I mean, I thought the Quest 2 was already pretty incredible before they raised the price 18 months after it came out. Now, however, you can get a Quest 2 for $200. But I actually think the Quest 3 is worth the premium because mixed reality is way cooler than I thought it would be. I was not particularly excited for that aspect, but find it's the thing that I use the most. Rhode Island Hiker, I've played so much 11 table tennis and so much Thrill of the Fight, all in mixed reality, all just in my living room there. It's awesome. Rhode Island Hiker, you're going to be the first person that I've asked because you that might have actually played it. Being a person who picked up a Quest 3 at launch, you got your free copy of Asgard's Wrath 2, which launched in December. Did you play it? And if so, what did you think? And also, we gotta become meta friends, whatever.
Quest friends.
Quest buddies.
Oculus bros.
That'd be so cool, man. I'd love to play some walkabout mini golf or something with you sometime, if you're down. Mark says, but after reading up on it a little bit, nothing will happen should you sneeze with your eyes open other than you will see while sneezing for the first time, which I cannot imagine to be that exciting.
I'd prefer to just keep my eyes closed.
Yeah. Maybe it was just an urban legend that you'd be like the people that could bug their eyes out, which is a thing. There was this great show back in American programming, and I was not a TV watching guy growing up. I didn't watch TV at all, but there was a Guinness Book of World Records TV show that was on for a while, and I thought it was the tits. And the very first episode had the person who could bug their eyes out the furthest. And what a great way just to get like a 10-year-old to get excited to come back for a show. It ends with a host, with a lot of fanfare, official measurements for a woman who just literally
can push her eyes further out of their sockets.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Great TV. Great TV.
You were also an enthusiast for the book, right?
Yes.
You liked the actual. Did they release it every year?
Yeah, I think they still
do.
It's it holds some of its own records, I'm sure. Although I think actually within 5 years maybe they now no longer actually do produce the physical book.
They stopped.
I mean,
or they're going to stop?
I think they might have already stopped. It does seem actually crazy that would no longer be able to sell enough copies to. What do kids buy at book fairs these days? If not Guinness Book of World Records to see the guy with the curly fingernails and all the other gross, relatively asinine things people do to themselves. Is it still being printed?
At least as of 22, I think.
How weird is it that our world records are this is I'm just oh shit, I'm pretty sure Guinness World Records is tied in some way to Guinness the brewing company, right?
Yeah, in the same way that Michelin
Right.
stars
That's what I was about to
are
bring up.
tied to
So
the tire company.
there it is. Very true. Do you know how and why?
Right, because it was like they were making these guides for like getting your car, and it's
Right. Yeah.
worth it. Place by our tires.
And that's how Michelin stars, the most sought after award in food
Cuisine.
Thank you. It's a much better term for it. Got started, and Guinness is some way the world records is in some way tied to the legendary brewery, and that's insane. Just that these two unrelated other industries somehow started these are these record keepers or tastemakers or whatever the case is. And both, not that far apart in start. All right, we are in our second bag. This took way too long. I am so upset with myself that I took so long to get this done. So I'm going to really, really do the second one. Producer, please help me out. I've been bad. I'll admit it. Rhode Island Hiker agrees, says that Ripley's Believe It or Not was an awesome show. They did have both things as products, a Guinness and a Ripley's. Or am I also just making it up?
Did you mix them up?
I might have mixed them up.
Wait. I was just on the Guinness Wikipedia. In the US, there was
Right? Like late 90s?
from 1998 to 2001.
Yeah. Would use his sports broadcasting voice. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, her eyes are out at 4 millimeters. Can they make it to 5 millimeters? Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, this lady has eclipsed the world record and gotten her eyes out of her ocular cavity at the past 8 millimeters, and she has hit 11 millimeters. Would you look at that? No pun intended. Great show. Ripley's Believe It or Not, also a TV show.
Did you watch that one?
It sounds like something I would have, but I don't remember it specifically.
I guess, yeah. When was it on? Or there's been many,
multiple,
but there was on TBS from 2000 to 2003. Ripley's Believe It or Not, hosted by Dean Cain.
That's right, hosted by Superman himself, Dean Cain, and real piece of shit.
Yeah.
Mad Crypto, good to see you back, Mad Crypto. Thanks for being here. He says, good to see you, bro. Get high as fuck for me. I'm happy too. And this is still Mad Crypto. I've been working on it for way too long. Some cherry slushy from my local dispensary. And
Isn't it? Just like
get high as fuck for Mad Crypto. This one's going to be for, I forgot to donate the, it's going to be for our returning friends here, Mad Crypto and Rhode Island Hiker. This bag is for you on Eclipse Day. Speaking of, where are we now on Eclipse? So we're on the West Coast. Of course, this is going to be different depending where you are in the country. I know it hits us Again, we're not in the path of totality, so we're not going to see anything particularly cool.
It is either started or just about to start here. Let me see.
It takes a while to get real good. So we're doing some active research.
We get 2 hours and 16 minutes. At its peak, it will be 49.7% of the sun obscured. And it's going to move across the bottom. It starts at 10:05, so it's already started 15, 16 minutes ago.
Oh, we got a peek at 11:11. So we're probably going to go check it out closer to 11 our time to go see this fun 50% eclipse. Mark says, I remember seeing the world's most tattooed pensioner on the Guinness World Record show, and all I could think was, that's too much reading for me. Interesting. What a hair split. What an interesting way to split hairs. Most tattooed. Not just simply the most tattooed, but the most tattooed pensioner, which is a thing that hasn't existed in the U.S. for quite a long time.
Right.
We wish we had tattooed pensioners here, but we've got mildly tatted it up 401k recipients. And that's one of those it's like at this point, what most tattooed? The answer is there can't be anybody, because there are certainly multiple people now who have every inch of their body completely tattooed.
So are you the most, do you have to
Maybe it's just the most skin surface area.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you want that record, you should make your body bigger, go for obesity to get more surface area.
Or you could do the now becoming quite common height extension.
Oh, yeah, make your legs longer.
Yeah. You know, we're living in that world now, guys. Isn't that weird? We're living in a world where it's totally possible.
Because, there's all those men on dating apps who don't want to be lying when they say they're 6'2".
Yeah. Arcane, what's up, man? Arcane says, what's good, Wheats? I hope your day is going well. Thank you, it is. He said, I started off well by playing some Cyberpunk 2077. Ooh, bookmarking that one for a second. Gonna do some that.
You gotta bookmark that, yeah.
Yeah. What were we talking about right before that? Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Am I supposed to remember?
Yeah, right before Eclipse. Right after Eclipse, I mean. In between those.
And not just still more Guinness and Ripley's?
Probably. I had something else to say. Thank God. I didn't need to say it. Arcane.
We heard plenty.
Arcane, is this your first time through on Cyberpunk? I'm curious.
You've been doing some replaying.
I did the DLC campaign.
Oh, the DLC campaign, which came out sort of recently?
Yes. Oh, we were talking about tattooed pensioners. That's right. And height extension. We live in a height extension world. Ways of splitting that hair again. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're so right.
Yeah. How are you the most tattooed when there's so many people who could be 100%?
Because they've got it tattooed on the inside. Buttholes, mouth, belly buttons,
eyelids.
And dong.
Ugh.
But that one's not so bad.
Wouldn't the most tattooed person just be solid black? Like, I mean...
Well, you can do ice.
I don't mean that in a...
awkwardly phrased.
Not a racial way, but like, how also do you count the tattooed when, like, the tattoo's gonna be a design?
Well, you can do multiple colors of ink.
Colors, yeah.
You've seen
You need to be solid colors, not just, the nice little black outline style.
I think I like your first instinct, and somebody should go for both, which is world's most tattooed and also world's most obese. And it would be you you'd want to wait until you achieved the obese one before doing the tattoo one, or the tattoos that you had at the start of the process won't look much like the tattoos at the end of the process.
Right. Yeah. So first you go for world's most surface area of skin.
Yes.
And then you start tattooing it.
Yeah. And then you're definitive. Guinness would have to, they put you on the cover. If you did it, the new cover image of Guinness would be that person, that large, certainly bed-bound, colorful human being should be Guinness's new
top tattooed buddy.
He should just be their mascot.
Their mascot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's a guy who said, I'm going 2 for 1. I don't want. He is not the world's largest, most tattooed man. He is the world's largest man and the world's most tattooed man. He's not splitting.
It's a twofer.
Yeah, he's not doing the world's most tattooed pensioner thing.
Right.
He's the world's most tattooed and the world's most pensioner. See, so glad that you're here. Did you get to see the eclipse out there in Pennsylvania, or whatever portion of it that was taking place in Pennsylvania? Arcane.
It's like Pittsburgh, you're a few hours south of totality. But that means you get, a good, 90%?
Oh, so Katie B's heart that she always shares with us, her yellow and black heart, are two-purpose. It's not just B, but it's also Steelers. I know the sports color teams.
You do know the sports color teams.
My family was from Pittsburgh. I don't know if I think you've told me that before. I might have told you that before. So I go Allegheny River, the 3 rivers, the Allegheny, the Ohio, and the other one. Go Carnegies. Pittsburgh is a dope ass place, though, KDB. What a cool city. I haven't been in a long time, but man, just not a huge place, not a massive city, but so many cool little features. The little tram, just a neat place. 3 rivers in a downtown. How neat. It's where the Dark Knight Rises took place, I think, was Pittsburgh. Back to Arcane, talking about the Phantom Liberty. I played through Phantom Liberty myself last year. What a turnaround for a game and company. I don't really know how they pulled it off. The public opinion reversal on Cyberpunk. Internet's whipping boy for a whole year, at least. And deservedly so. Not great. And then just kept plugging away at it, and making something that I think people think is as good as what was originally promised, if not with the original Cyberpunk, with the expansion Phantom Liberty, which I thought was pretty good, too.
What was the... I just... Cyberpunk... I didn't play it. I didn't play it. I'm too lazy to play video games. But you showed me, I just remember, you were showing me I think it was, oh gosh, I forgot the name for it, but the beautiful rendering of all
ray
the
tracing.
The ray tracing. So did everyone agreed it was beautiful, or does it matter what
even at
platform you're playing it on?
Even at the time, it was agreed that it was beautiful, but it was so buggy and glitchy and gross. Now, it was incredibly platform dependent, and they stupidly released it on last-gen consoles at the time, and that was what a lot of it was buggy on PC, too. But they have, and this is what CD Projekt Red always does, they continue to add new cutting-edge technology to their products to keep them alive. And Cyberpunk, a game that is 4 years old, in many ways looks better than anything that comes out now. And they keep adding new features that NVIDIA, the graphics people we talked about yesterday, second most valuable company in the world, thanks to AI. So what I showed you wasn't even ray tracing. It's a kind of ray tracing, but even more ridiculous, called path tracing, where it is like basically every beam of light that is cast from something is no longer simulated in the sense that, like, a light source here, you know where a light source is, and then you illuminate the things that it hits along the way, in a sense, but you never, like, that light isn't really doing anything. It's two different things.
Where it would hit.
Yeah. And now you've got stuff like path tracing, where you make light sources as if it is actually projecting light, and you have all of the insane benefits to visuals that everything looks more realistic, shadows, contrast. I mean, just it's so impressive. And they adopt all the fancy technology that our AI boom is enacting, which is frame generation. So you normally could not have a game look this...
More like predicting where you're going to turn and look next.
Pretty much, yes. Like, basically, computers have been trained to play this game over and over again, and they know what images are comprised of ahead of time and can predict, knowing your previous...
You're probably going to turn this way, so this is what the image is going to look like next.
Yeah. And, man, is it great. But even outside of the tech stuff, Phantom Liberty is a much better story than what was actually in Cyberpunk.
There were some real story even though it had Keanu saying get in and all that fun stuff at the start, but the story's way better.
Yes, and Keanu's still in it too. I didn't think we'd get more Keanu. If you beat Cyberpunk, you
might think there's not more.
But they do the very common thing now, which like is
prequel or side quest.
Yeah, it's like this DLC takes place before the ending of the game, because it can't really take place after. So
does it also? I guess that's convenient too. That can you play it if you haven't beaten the game?
Yes, as a matter of fact, that's the.
So if you picked it up a copy new today, you could just play it with the DLC.
And I restarted a new character, which is, instead of going back, even cooler. And they did this with The Witcher as well, with its great beloved DLC.
It's the same Project Code Red?
Yes, CD Projekt Red, same developer, same publisher. They had this big, massive DLC campaign for it as well. And they realized that some people, and I think it's even truer with...
I'm sorry, I'm making you talk to me.
Phantom Liberty.
You're saying great things about video games, but
they've made it so that you can...
We've got to keep you focused.
I so appreciate it. That's exactly what we need. You can play the whole thing right from the start.
Okay.
They will let you just play the DLC campaign, and they'll make a character for you as if you had
been halfway through.
Yeah, or whatever. So you've got, a bevy of stuff.
You got the gear you need.
Yeah. And other little things to make it easier just to jump right in. But I think that's pretty cool too, because, and especially in something like Cyberpunk, where the DLC, the Phantom Liberty, which is like a 30-hour experience, and it's better than the original thing. So
if you knew that and you just want to play that,
go for it.
They'll roll you a new character.
Yeah.
Cool.
Be prepared for so much fucking Witcher stuff in the next 5 years. A goddamn avalanche of Witcher stuff coming from everybody. It's gonna be bad. Just CD Projekt Red stuff in general, but I don't think we've seen anywhere close to the amount of cash they can wring from that property. Look, please.
Need it.
Thank you. I feel like Mike Wallace is over my shoulder.
It too.
It sounds patronizing, but it is so needed. I really am that immature. I need somebody to just be like, all right, now you breathe. Okay, now you drink. Make sure you're hydrated. Did you forget to breathe again? Probably.
Crypto says, you saw that Amazon had a bunch of Indians watching through cameras at their store without staff that supposedly used AI to track what you grabbed.
I did, Mad Crypto.
Like when we went into one of their convenience stores, the weird little like gas station style,
Yes.
7-Eleven style. What is it called? Go or
Yes, I think that one's Go. They have so many different little marketive initiative,
marketing.
Storefront initiatives,
Right.
grocery initiatives, and
Oh yeah, they do that in Whole Foods. No, not yet.
so I think we went in one that did not actually have this tech. We had one that had the Palm technology.
Well, they're all starting to have the palm reader.
This is not that one.
Okay.
This is you just walk out of the store. You just put everything in your bag. You don't ever, detect anything. And that is going away because, as Mad Crypto said, there was no real
AI.
Yeah, there was no, they hadn't cracked it. It was an ungodly number of cameras and 1,000 contractors in India
just watching the vid.
Yeah, and going back and seeing what you put in your cart.
How could that be worth, one coat?
It's not worth it in any sense that Amazon ever thought that was going to make profit. But what they did think it might do...
It's about their devotion to the gimmick.
Not even necessarily that.
Not even the gimmick, because it's real tech.
It's a cool thing to have in their quarterly financials to say that they have piloted these stores when people are all like, constantly with Amazon, hey guys, how do you keep fucking up retail? Like, how are you doing so? How did you make Whole Foods worse? Amazon. Everybody expected Whole Foods, a beloved store at the time, that with that Amazon cash, with those Bezos bucks, you were going to make it better.
Yeah, more bucks means more better.
And
more Bezos, more bucks, more better.
That has not happened. Not only is the customer experience worse, but sales are flat. They've had to close stores. And all of their other projects have been fiascos from their... I think actually their Amazon Fresh stores maybe are doing okay. But they lie about this shit all the time. Just like they lied about having an AI system. So you don't really know. But, so Amazon is always fucking up their retail thing. Badly. Very badly fucking it up. And so they want to say every, new quarter, they want to say like, oh, well, we've cracked it this time. And this time what we've developed is a store. We've come up with this model where, you don't even have to put your palm over something. You can just walk in, walk out. It's the dream. And they hope that will keep investors happy. We'll go like, oh, Amazon's they're still innovating in the retail space. This is good. This is fine. This is going to be okay.
I don't get why anyone thinks that they need to innovate in the retail space in order to be successful. That's not the thing that they're good at. Because
they're also fucking up the website. The only good thing that's going on right now, unambiguously for Amazon, is Amazon Web Services, which is a bigger,
hosting.
More important part of. I mean, to call it even like web hosting isn't. It is the spine of the internet is Amazon Web Services.
What is it like 70% or something?
I mean, I don't know I've seen 50% as an estimate of things that are hosted through AWS. So that's like the only... Everybody knows how awful it is to shop on Amazon right now. It is similar to what Google's going through with search. They have been destroyed by the practices they set up to both help enrich themselves and also poorly created to prevent fraud and spam. But really all they did was create a system that was going to inevitably lead to them making a lot of money in the short term, but funneling people into a system of like, oh, X, oh, whoa, whoa,
Gamification.
whoa, whoa, YZZZ products on Amazon that can pop up overnight, get shut down, making the same shitty products that,
Fake ratings,
yes,
etc., etc.
everything's been gamed and exploited. So Amazon, they would love to have a good thing going for them in retail because their web world is degrading.
Like, but just why not? Why not spend all that instead of all that energy on retail, which they keep on? It's like, when you in business, it's like, oh, focus on what you're good at. Like, okay, retail, obviously not what you've ever done, Amazon. You've done shopping, brick and mortar was never your place. Your whole point was to show us all why brick and mortar sucks. Like, why not dedicate all that energy to making the website better?
Because there will never not be people. Because
No, it will always be gamified, but like,
not even gamified.
or
We're all just humans.
yeah,
Markets are inherently irrational, nonsensical, stupid things.
yeah.
People will always ask Amazon why they don't have retail. It doesn't it just make sense? Why can't you guys do it? And they will always be expected to be in that thing. So they could even just consider it an expenditure to like keep investors.
To just keep the answer to that question, like, well, we're in retail.
Yeah, we're trying things. Like they might not even seriously, care.
Consider it.
Yeah, but it's just like we've got to placate people who are going to ask the question constantly and pressure us to do this. I mean, but it also could just be incompetence and stupidity, in which there is so much of to go around at Amazon.
At any business.
Amazon is also. There's a lot of parallels between Amazon and Google right now, and they are both speedrunning that enshittification curve quick.
Yeah.
In that their original purpose is degrading quickly.
Yeah.
And so they are also now squeezing users for money in extra ways, including Amazon Prime now charging for ad-free versions of videos on their rental service. You have to pay an extra thing on top. Didn't have to do that before. Amazon Prime is more expensive than it was 2 years ago or whatever, but
Keep on raising those subscription costs.
their website is not doing so great. Their sales are not as aren't as high as they were projected to be, say, at the beginning of the pandemic at this point. So they got to make up those profits somewhere else, and they'll squeeze them from their users.
I can do this again.
Thank you. And give me one more report. I'm done.
You've got to do a squeezing act.
Yeah.
Look at this. I'm not going to put it in the closet, but I am going to say, take a sip when you can.
Thank you. Crypto says, also, Jeff Bezos' spaceship from Blue Origin looks like a dick. It really, really does.
It really does.
I used to kind of think the whole phallic thing was not, like, I kind of discounted it. I was like, oh, that just seems like, people trying to, a skyscraper makes sense to me. Like, I don't actually think of, in some sense, skyscrapers make sense. I'm back to it. They're phallic as shit. Uh-oh, our sound shows as totally peaked. Will you just mute that audio just in case? Yes. Sorry if there was just a loud screeching sound. I don't think there was.
Hopefully not.
Yes. The Blue Origin rocket looks like a giant schwanz, for sure. I mean, we're not even intentionally so. That looks like a vein.
Best picture. Is this the best picture? What's going on?
It's like somebody called him a dickhead, and he said, "I'll show you." That be blurred. If that should not be like we were talking about the Today Show at the beginning of the that if that were that image were to come up on the Today Show, Matt Lauer should have to blur that. Um, Matt Lauer shouldn't be on the Today Show though, because he's a bad man.
Oh gosh. I was,
Trying
did I
to
do that live? It's live.
zooming in.
Yeah. Never mind.
Wang. Okay, so we talked about rockets. Which guys, it looks like our big moment is coming up in about 20 minutes. Our opportunity for path of half to the not totality.
Half-fullity.
That's a contradiction in terms.
Our maximum partiality.
Oh man, that sounds like a great action movie. I would totally see that. Or like a sex thriller.
Maximum partiality.
Yeah, or a comedy. I wouldn't see anything with that title though. What does it mean?
It doesn't matter what genre it is.
Yeah, maximum partiality. Coming soon to a theater near you. Tell your friends. Who did anybody out here in chat get to see any of the clips? I think was it Yeti who said he was on the path of the.
Yeti says he's on the path. There we go.
Were you trying? Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You answered it. You answered it. It's good. Fun part about my eclipse when we started talking about the eclipse, but it's great because as we're getting close to where we're gonna go check it out ourselves. So we talked about how the on Earth at our particular place and time and space makes seeing something like a total eclipse a very uniquely earthian Gaian feature. Like that is it is identifying. And I heard it described this way and I thought it was so great. Somebody said like if Earth could come up with a single flag themselves, if the planet Earth were to design a flag for the entire populace, that the eclipse should be the symbol because nothing is so singularly of Earth as the eclipse. If we were in a council of millions of alien nations and we wanted to create a symbol to describe our unique place and our singular trait, we could come up with a flag demonstrating the eclipse because it is that rare. It is that special to us right now in this place and time. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. And another reason to want to go see it because we don't have a lot that we can lord over aliens. We don't have a lot going for us here. We're on the fringes of the Milky Way. We're way out in the boonies of our galaxy, guys. I mean, we are in the sticks. Our sun, pretty meh. I mean, right in the middle. Average Joe. 9-planet system. I mean, we are in a, we're in that habitable zone.
Excuse you, it's an 8-planet system.
Sorry, Pluto. Sorry, Neil deGrasse Tyson. But we got the eclipse. Let's just be happy for that. We got that. And nobody can take that away from us. Except if the movie Moonfall is real. Then that could be taken away really easy because the
moon being gone.
Because the moon's an alien.
Don't spoil it.
I think in the trailer, the guy says, "The moon is alive." And
was it a lot? I thought it was more of an alien spaceship.
Oh, it was an alien structure.
Yeah.
Like a baby Dyson sphere. But, not really because it's not covering a star. But just inside. Like a Death Star.
Yeah.
From that pop culture thing.
From
that thing. It's like a small moon. Have you guys heard of this Star Wars? You guys know about this? Heard about this Luke Skywalker guy?
What's your favorite Star Wars?
Andor.
I know.
Guys, you heard about this Andor?
Hopefully you've seen the show.
You know this Diego Luna guy? Andor. What a holy shit! I didn't think I could care about Star Wars.
The Mando season 2 just not Mando season 2.
Everything?
Yeah, everything since then. Book of Boba Fett.
Oh Jesus God!
That was really bad.
Obi-Wan. There was an Obi-Wan miniseries. And now I feel like one of those guys when I was young who just they talked about Star Wars and it was just in this like cynical, hateful when I was young way, and it was like, dude, come on. But Andor is not only not good for a Star Wars show. Andor was one of the best TV shows the year it came out. Has a maybe top 20 television episode in it. Like, one of the best TV episodes of all time is in Andor. And it's just such a out of nowhere, nobody expected this, anything. I mean, guys, a prequel, this was back in the era of like, if it touched Star Wars in any way, it was going to get a profit.
Prequel of it.
Guys, you remember that kind of angry dude who was yelling a lot in that Rogue One movie that you kind of liked and now like more because most Star Wars stuff has been really bad, so we remember that more fondly than it really should be.
Because Rogue One was definitely better than Solo.
So, do you remember that guy at the beginning? We got a whole show about him. Doesn't that sound great? No.
And you're like, no, I don't care. Why would I care?
But then they hire Tony Gilroy, writer-director of Michael fucking Clayton. Michael Clayton. That's going to be my cherry on top of the end. Skip the eclipse. Go watch Michael Clayton.
No, don't skip the eclipse.
After the eclipse, watch Michael Clayton.
There you go.
Same guy wrote Michael Clayton that did Andor. Both so good. I got to get through a last bag before we go, so
yeah.
I got 15 minutes for the eclipse.
But why? Because she the guy version.
Star
Wars? Andor. They must have done an Andor.
I believe it. Synergy. Because Family Guy is a Disney show?
It's owned by Fox. Or was Fox.
Yeah.
So now it's Disney. Family Guy is a Disney show? That's so weird.
Consolidation. There was a rumor, it looks like it's no longer happening because a different not a direct competitor is buying them, but Paramount, the owner of CBS, we're talking about Paramount Plus recently, is also now for sale, looking for a bidder or looking for a buyer. They wanted to be like Fox themselves and get acquired by a big dog. And there was a moment where David Zaslav, the runner of HBO, Max, Discovery, all those things, Time Warner, almost bought. No, that's a way that's
Too
mischaracterized.
strong.
Yeah,
Too
far
strong the language.
There was yeah,
An inkling of
there was a bit of a start of a talk of a discussion, a preliminary that maybe Zaslav was interested in buying Paramount, which would have meant that the network that owns HBO would also now own Showtime. So Disney owns 20th Century Fox. There's gonna be a time where you're gonna go to the movies. You're gonna see a lot of different logos at the front still. Different fanfare.
they'll keep the old logos.
But it's all going to be just two different companies. I mean, it's like four now. And it's not going to be four for much longer. Last bag, and it's almost eclipse time. It's been so fun hanging out with everybody in the morning.
Are
Wow.
you dedicating it?
No, you have to dedicate one.
I dedicated it to Tony Gilroy.
Tony, we love you, man. Great. Andor's great. I can't wait for season 2. Michael Clayton's a great movie. We won't talk about the Ocean's movies. We won't talk about those because we wanna love you.
And also we want to save your rant about the Ocean's movies for some other time.
Yes.
We'll give them their own separate space. You can have a whole stream to just rant on Ocean's movies.
I feel like people are gonna hate me because there's a Rick and Morty joke about how bad Ocean's 12 is.
They would just have to take my word for it. And I mean, it is you. Anyways, they would just have to take my word for it that your hate for the Ocean's movies was formed before Dan Harmon had a huge platform for his hate of the Ocean's movie. It was formed naturally, separately, in a perfect, natural reaction to what you saw on the screen.
Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. And go ahead and get clarity.
You're not stealing it from Dan.
No. This is a.
It's just something that you guys are.
Yes. And hatred. Almost through. Here's the funny part. These bags, way easier to get through when they're fresh. Like, they don't make me cough as much. So, the fact that it takes me so long just is one of those
it's like
things that they
punishing.
Yeah. The longer it takes, the harder it is to get through.
The more you're going to cough, the more you're going to struggle. Yeah.
All my neighbors are going to know him. Because we're going to go out and look at the eclipse, and it's 50% glory. I don't think we even mentioned, I've got my glasses here from 2017.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out and look at it with.
We didn't save them. We just have one pair, so we'll share.
Because I don't even listen to myself. It's bad to look at the eclipse. I don't know anything.
We'll take turns. Not that, we'll all be staring. And we're not going to stare at the sun, right?
Yes. And don't point your camera phone directly.
They say it could hurt your camera.
Yeah, your lens.
I mean, I feel like sometimes that people point their camera towards them. I guess not directly out, just out in the...
Get a polarizer.
Yeah.
Get a UV filter.
Get a polarizer.
That's my cherry on top.
It's probably too late to do anything about that one.
Candy said she had the glasses when she saw one years ago, back in 1998.
According to Mark, yes.
Yes. All right, guys. wrap this up. Again, it's been so fun hanging out. You have a cherry on top.
I did my cherry.
That was at the beginning.
Oh, cherry at the end. But there's only one cherry. Okay. Um. I did.
We don't have much time.
Okay.
Yes.
Watched a little movie the other night. Uh,
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
But somehow.
Wheats had seen it before. Somehow. I mean, I'm so behind on seeing movies. Wheats had already seen it. It is well, I mean, definitely from my own experience, I know it would be the least known of Christopher Nolan's movies. Or there's one more that's least known.
I mean, Memento.
Memento. No, I think that's more notorious.
I mean, this movie made some money at the box office.
Yeah.
Among
so
people
Memento is more of an indie hit.
And it's much older.
Much older.
Anyways,
Christopher Nolan's The Prestige, which, I don't know, I heard that title, I thought it might be some spy thriller, lawyers, crime, I don't know, secret society, something. And I was like, okay, what's a prestige? No. The prestige, I learned from this movie, is the term for the reveal at the end of a magic trick. The thing that shows the proof of, like, oh, I brought it back, that the magician says.
And now, I will make us disappear.
Oh, should I click in stream?
I realize I just cut you off. I am so sorry. Would you like to insist that you...
Just because The Prestige, great movie, Chris Nolan. If you enjoy Chris Nolan directing movies about that have things in them about influential scientists of the 20th century.
And now, oh wait, no, that still wasn't Mike. I didn't ever have a cue. That's the problem with this.
What year was it?
2006.
Or when it's set?
Oh, the turn of the century.
Early 1900s.
Give me my.
It's a movie about two magicians, but also it has Edison and Tesla in the background doing their Edison versus Tesla wars. It was so much fun. Such a great movie. If you haven't seen The Prestige, check it out. The Prestige is part of a magic trick.
And now, I'll make us